The Airbus A321-231 jet airliner carrying AirBlue Flight 202 crashed into Margalla Hills north of Islamabad's Benazir Bhutto International Airport on July 28, 2010, killing all 146 passengers and 6 crew members on board. It is Pakistan's deadliest air accident to date and the first fatal crash involving an Airbus A321. What happened? What caused the crash? Stick till the end of the video to find out. Hello and welcome to Plane Crashes Explained, where we discuss some of the most mind-blowing reasons and facts behind the most heinous plane crashes. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss future updates. Without further ado, let's get straight into this. Benazir Bhutto International Airport served the city at the time. However, the new Islamabad International Airport, which opened in May 2018, has since displaced this facility. The route to Karachi is easily Islamabad's busiest, with more than 90 flights per week provided by AirBlue, AirCL, Fly Jinnah, Pakistan International Airlines, and Serene Air. On July 18, 2010, an Airbus A321-200 registered as APBJB operated AirBlue Flight 202. According to the Aviation Safety Network, this twin jet was just over 10 years old at the time, having first flown in April 2000. It carried 146 passengers and 6 crew members comprising 152 people. The plane took off from Karachi at 7:41 a.m. local time. At 9:41 a.m., Benazir Bhutto International Airport flight controllers lost contact with the aircraft. Weather conditions were poor, and a China Southern airliner had diverted to an alternate airport 30 minutes earlier. The effects of the rain were not limited to the plane crash. In late July 2010, Pakistan experienced such heavy rains that the entire country was flooded. The plane flew towards Islamabad from the southeast, following a procedure that called for it to fly toward the airport until it made visual contact. The plane was to fly around the airport to the east and north, staying within 5 nautical miles of runway 12, which faces southeast. The plane crashed in the mountains about 8 miles north of the airport, facing almost due west, before it could line up with runway 12 for final approach. Before the crash, the pilots did not send any emergency signals. According to Pakistani Interior Minister Rehman Malik, the plane was at 2,600 feet as it approached Islamabad, but then rose to 3,000 feet before crashing. The altitude of 2,600 feet was higher than the safe minimum descent altitude if the aircraft stayed within a 5 nautical mile radius of the airport. One witness on the ground, out walking, stated that the plane lost balance and crashed. Others said the plane was lower than it should have been. One witness said the plane was flying as low as a 4-story building. As the aircraft began to turn, the right side of its front hit the highest mountain, erupting in an instant billow of blue fire and black smoke. The plane was discovered near the Daman-e-Cove viewing point in the Margalla Hills outside Islamabad. According to the Los Angeles Times, television footage of the crash site showed smoke and burning debris strewn across a swath of forest. Rescue helicopters circled above. There was visible fire, and smoke was billowing from the scene. The weather conditions 19 minutes after the accident were as follows. According to the 500 UTC MEDAR report for Benazir Bhutto International Airport, winds at 18 knots from the east at 90 degrees. Rain, scattered clouds at 1,000 feet, few at 3,000 feet, overcast at 10,000 feet, and visibility at 3.5 kilometers. Dew point 24 degrees Celsius, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, temperature 25 degrees Celsius, 1006.9 hectopascals QNH. A local police official stated that he had received reports that the aircraft had crashed into the Margalla Hills area due to smoke, but that they could not reach the site due to lack of access. At 10:30 a.m. local time, an Army helicopter arrived to survey the crash site but could not land. Aerial inspection of the site revealed no survivors among the passengers or crew. The deaths of all 152 people on board have been confirmed. All hospitals in Islamabad have been declared to be in an emergency state. Rescuers on the scene reported that the bodies had been mutilated and burned, and that the aircraft had been destroyed by the impact, with its pieces and parts scattered over a wide area. Some areas were still burning, and the crash had set fire to the surrounding bushes. Rescuers at the crash site were said to be digging through the rubble with their bare hands. According to a senior city government official, the rescue operation was completed, but it was extremely difficult because of the rain. The majority of the bodies were charred. Body bags were being delivered by helicopter. However, the rescue operation was described as chaotic. According to BBC Urdu, most of those on the crash site were members of Pakistan's anti-terrorism police, with only a few from search and rescue. The majority were standing around gazing at the burning debris with nothing to do. There were reports of police officers threatening to baton charge rescuers if they did not move quickly. The lack of coordination between rescuers and other government institutions such as the military, police, and the Capital Development Authority also hampered their search and rescue operation. The Civil Aviation Authority launched an investigation into the accident right away. Airbus stated that it would provide Pakistani authorities with full technical assistance. On July 29, 2010, a 6-member Airbus team led by Nicholas Bardoo, the company's director of flight safety, arrived in Islamabad. On July 31st, the Pakistan Civil Aviation Authority's Director General, Junaid Amin, told AFP that the investigating committee found the black box from the Margalla Hills this morning. The black box was found from the bulk of the wreckage of the crashed plane. He stated that the box would be examined by foreign experts in Germany or France because Pakistan lacks the technology to decode the flight recorders. The FDR and CVR recordings revealed that the pilot in command at the time, Captain Chaudhry, had deviated significantly from the established procedures for an approach to Islamabad. During the approach, he attempted an unusual approach by requesting a right-hand downwind approach, chose nav mode, flew dangerously close to the hills, and violated the airport's minimum descent altitude. He could be heard laughing off an ATC order to enter a holding pattern and wait for the weather to improve, saying, "Let him say what he wants to say." He was also heard dismissing his first officer's concern about establishing visual contact with the airport, believing that no visual contact was required as long as the autopilot was engaged. While there were numerous deviations from standard operating procedures, Flight 202's co-pilot, First Officer Ahmed, was largely unresponsive and passive to them, even when the aircraft was placed in dangerously close proximity to terrain. The recording revealed that he had only expressed his concern occasionally. As a result, the errors were never corrected. The conflict could explain his calm demeanor during the flight's first segment. During Flight 202's initial climb, Captain Chaudhry decided to put First Officer Ahmed's knowledge to the test. Unsatisfied with the test results, Captain Chaudhry berated and humiliated his co-pilot in a harsh, snobbish tone. This lasted approximately 1 hour. First Officer Ahmed had become quiet and submissive when Captain Chaudhry decided to stop. He had completely lost his self-esteem, allowing Captain Chaudhry to violate any standard procedure without any suggestions or corrective actions from the far less experienced First Officer Ahmed. The crash was caused by a lack of professionalism in the cockpit crew and poor weather, according to a report issued by Pakistan's Civil Aviation Authority in November 2011. According to the report, the CVR and FDR confirmed that the captain ignored or did not respond properly to a slew of air traffic control directives and automated terrain warning systems. According to the report, the first officer passively accepted the captain's actions after the captain took harsh, snobbish, and contrary tone with him on multiple occasions throughout the flight and berated him. According to the report, the crash was a controlled flight into terrain (CFIT) accident in which the aircrew failed to exercise sufficient judgment and professional skills in a self-created unsafe environment. They committed serious procedural violations and breaches of flying discipline in their determination to land in inclement weather, putting the aircraft in an unsafe condition over dangerous terrain at a low altitude. Pakistani President Asif al-Zardari and Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani both expressed their condolences to the family of those killed in the accident. The Pakistani government declared July 29th a national day of mourning and announced a compensation of 500,000 rupees, $5,847 to each victim's family. U.S. President Barack Obama issued a statement confirming the presence of 2 Americans on the flight and expressing condolences, saying that our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those touched by this terrible accident. The arrogance of the captain mainly caused the crash. The pilot should have only one concern: keeping the plane safe and making sure that people reach their destination safely. Nobody should ever make this mistake because you have so many people's lives on the line. What do you think? Should the captain have taken it personally? Let us know in the comments section. If you liked the video, here are 2 more that might interest you. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like on the video and share it with your friends.